Hi all, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to share a terrifying story with you out of Gulfport, Mississippi, where police say they found a 22-year-old nursing student brutally murdered by her ex-boyfriend after he bonded out of jail for brutally assaulting her months before while on vacation. But according to Lauren Johansson's father, her ex-boyfriend would have still been in jail if a Mississippi judge did not lower his bail, making it easier for him to post so he could get out and end her life. According to news reports, Lauren's ex-boyfriend, Bryson Rivers, was arrested in December of 2023 after he allegedly brutally beat Lauren while on vacation together in Nashville. During the attack, she was somehow able to contact her family, who in turn called police to send them to her location, and she was rescued, and Rivers was arrested. But according to Lauren's father, who's a physician and surgeon, he said she sustained terrible injuries from that incident, even an injury to her brain. But he said that wasn't the only time Rivers attacked Lauren. He said once when the two were broken up, Lauren tried to date another man, but Rivers showed up at her apartment, beat up the man she was dating, and grabbed her and dragged her down a flight of stairs. When the police showed up, Rivers left, but then he returned later with a gun.
Family is demanding answers after their daughter's alleged killer walked out of the Nashville jail just days before her murder. Lauren Johansson's ex-boyfriend was released on a $150,000 bond just days prior to her death. And tonight, her father tells News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry the Nashville courts failed his daughter.
She was one of those people. She walked into the room and there was just like a glow.
22-year-old Lauren Johansson was known to bring a smile to everyone's face. She helped take care of her two brothers, sister, and mother. Her father, Dr. Lance Johansson, tells me Lauren was attending the University of Southern Mississippi to become a registered nurse, like her mother. But on Wednesday, her body was found in her car.
And it was horrendous.
Her father tells me this wasn't the first time the accused murderer, Bryson John Rivers, beat, threatened, and stalked his former high school girlfriend.
She was dating somebody else, and he came over there and beat the person up really bad, and then grabbed her and dragged her down the stairs of her apartment.
An affidavit from last December says Rivers beat her again while they were on vacation in Nashville.
I guess a switch in his head turned evil, and he kidnapped her and started driving her around the town and started beating on her.
At one point, her father says she was able to call for help. Her parents contacted the police. The car was tracked down, and Rivers was arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping.
After Rivers was arrested for the brutal attack on Lauren while on vacation in Nashville, Lauren's father said both he and Lauren told the court that if they released Rivers from jail, he was going to kill her. But despite his prior criminal record, the warning to the court that he was extremely dangerous, and the brutal attacks he had already unleashed on Lauren, a Mississippi judge saw fit to reduce his bond. And after serving just 7 months in jail, Rivers bonded out on June 28th of 2024.
After sitting in jail for 7 months, Rivers' bond was lowered from $250,000 to $150,000.
And I told them that, he's going to kill her if y'all let her out.
But according to Lauren's father, Lance Johansson, nobody was notified that he had been released. Until days later, on July 1st, when he received this terrifying phone call.
The courtroom in Nashville and told the judge they let him out, he was going to come kill her. This was probably the 5th time or 6th time in that time period where they get in a fight and he beat her and everything else. And they let her out and they didn't tell us, and they didn't put the ankle monitor on her. They just let him walk out of jail.
Rivers walked out of jail Friday. The following Monday, Lance received this voicemail.
This is Bailey calling from the District Attorney's office here in Nashville. Bryson Rivers was released from custody. He was supposed to report straight to a GPS company and be put on a GPS monitor. and he was not to leave Davidson County. But as soon as he was released, he did not report to that GPS monitoring company, and he has not been heard from. So I want to make sure that Lauren is safe.
After Lauren's father received the terrifying phone call, he said he tried desperately to contact Lauren to warn her, but he was never able to reach her. Until, he said, he finally received a text back from Lauren's phone that did not sound like it was written by his daughter. Then, when Lauren's sister went to her home to check on her, she found a security camera ripped off the house and smashed, and her front door open, and all her pets outside of her home.
I called her, I didn't get a call, so I texted her, and I got a text back. It didn't really look like her the way she talks.
Her family reported her missing and noticed the Life 360 app on her phone had been shut off. But despite their desperate pleas to get help from the police, Lance said police never even tried to locate Lauren's car until 2 days later. According to police, they were able to use OnStar to locate Lauren's car, which was found in a cemetery in Harrison County, and they sent local police in the area to investigate. But police said when they arrived, Rivers fled from Lauren's car into the woods, and Lauren's body was found wrapped in garbage bags and a sheet in her back seat. Her father told the news that when they found her car in the cemetery, he already knew she was dead. Rivers hid out in the woods surrounding the cemetery, leading police on an 8-hour manhunt to locate him.
And when detectives called Lance to tell him,
I knew she was dead. When we got there, her car was out like in the middle of the cemetery. She was in the back of the car wrapped up in a bunch of sheets and trash bags, and she was basically beaten to death. Her face was smashed in, her head was smashed in. She was just brutally beaten to the point she couldn't see out of either eye when she finally died. I helped the coroner lift her body out of the car. It was just mutilated.
Lance said he can't believe Rivers was let out of jail with a reduced bond and no monitoring system.
I think the criminal justice system in Nashville, Tennessee, failed my daughter and our family. The world shouldn't work this way. She had dreams and hopes that were larger than life. And the best quality of about her was that she had a really big heart and would do anything for anyone to help them out. Everything she did, everything she touched turned to gold, except for this guy.
In Operation Crime and Justice, a 22-year-old woman is murdered, according to sheriff's deputies in Mississippi. Lauren Johansson's boyfriend, Bryson Rivers, is now charged with killing her. Tonight, Fox 17 News is uncovering that Rivers was recently behind bars in Nashville, charged for beating Johansson during a trip here, according to Nashville police. Now, he was let out of jail just over a week ago after a judge here in Nashville lowered his bond. Lauren Johansson's family now grieving her death after she was reported missing days ago. Wednesday, the Harrison County, Mississippi sheriff says her car was found near a cemetery.
Through OnStar, they located the vehicle here at this cemetery, and they asked us to come out and just check on the vehicle.
As deputies arrived, they say they spotted a man running from the car. They also made a heartbreaking discovery.
There was a deceased subject in the back of the vehicle.
An intense manhunt followed. Investigators tracked down boyfriend Bryson Rivers in a wooded area 8 hours later. He's now charged with Johansson's murder. Rivers has a violent criminal history. Metro Police arrested him this past December after they say he brutally beat Johansson after the pair left a bar on a trip to Music City. Johansson nearly losing consciousness. Investigators say officers saw Rivers reaching for a gun in the back seat of the car, but they were able to stop him. He was charged with multiple felonies, including aggravated kidnapping and stalking. But after 7 months, a Davidson County judge reduced his bond from $251,000 to $150,000. The district attorney's office tells Fox 17 News they opposed any bond reduction at 2 different hearings.
Details continuing to come to light following the tragic ending to the breaking news that we first brought you last night of a manhunt in Harrison County.
22-year-old Lauren Johansson found dead in the back seat of her car just 2 days after she was reported missing in Hattiesburg. We're told the Gulfport native was attending school at USM. Last night's hours-long search leading to the arrest of her boyfriend, Bryson Rivers, who was already out on bond, charged with attacking her back in December. We have team coverage tonight of the story that continues to unravel as we hear from the victim's family and law enforcement who eventually brought the murder suspect into custody.
And we begin with Brandy McGill, who breaks down how the 6-hour manhunt came to a close.
All right, we need to put somebody within eyeshot of each other.
Multiple law enforcement agencies filling Wolf River Cemetery Wednesday afternoon searching for Lauren Johansson, the USM Hattiesburg student reported missing by her family.
Swing to Air 4. How's your sensor working now?
Harrison County Sheriff Matt Haley says deputies arrived at the cemetery around 3 p.m. for what they thought was a welfare check.
We actually received a call from Hattiesburg. Through OnStar, they located the vehicle here at this cemetery, and they asked us to come out and just check on the vehicle.
The sheriff says when a deputy arrived, a man we now know was 23-year-old Bryson Rivers running from the vehicle into the woods.
At that point, they walked up to make contact with the vehicle and observed that there was a deceased subject in the back of the vehicle.
After discovering Johansson wrapped up in a sheet in the back of her car, the intense search then began for Rivers.
We probably had in upwards of 50 law enforcement officers out here, several drones. We had our helicopter out. We had dogs, canines from all over the coast helping.
Drones and the Harrison County Sheriff's helicopter tracked the woods for hours searching for Rivers. You can spot him here running out of the woods right into waiting law enforcers, bringing the 6-hour search to an end.
We realized early on that the subject still had his cell phone on him. So undercover officers were able to, through text messages, have Rivers believe that he was corresponding with a friend. And we were able to lure him out of the woods.
Sheriff Haley says it took a coordinated effort from multiple agencies to get Rivers in handcuffs by 11:30. In Harrison County, Brandy McGill, WLOX News Now.
Of course, Rivers' charges have now been upgraded to murder, and he's now being held on a $1 million bond. The bond he should have been held on in the first place, in my opinion. And Lauren Johansson would still be alive today.
Another layer to this story, Rivers also had an extensive history of arrest, including aggravated kidnapping in Nashville last year, as well as possession and trafficking of a controlled substance in Harrison County back in 2022.
He was also arrested again in Hancock County in 2021 on a DUI charge. We'll continue to keep you updated on this developing story as we learn more.
I pray for her family and her loved ones as they try to find the strength to get through this horrible nightmare. Thank you for listening to their story. I appreciate it. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more true crime stories. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on my next video.